Hey, Chiefs Kingdom! Welcome back to Total Chiefs, your go-to spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs. Glad to have you here for another big update. And trust me, this one is huge. So let's get straight to it. Nick Bolton might be on his way out. Yeah, you heard that right. The Chiefs have decided not to use the franchise tag on Bolton. And if you're wondering why that's such a big deal, well, you're in the right place. Now, before we dive into the details, let's set the stage here. Bolton has been a cornerstone of this defense, a leader on and off the field. But with this latest decision, his future with the Chiefs is looking more uncertain than ever. And that brings us to the big question, will Nick Bolton stay, or is he out the door? We're about to break everything down. Heavy checkmark why the Chiefs made this decision, heavy checkmark what it means for the team, heavy checkmark and what could happen next. But first, let's get you in on the action. Do you want the Chiefs to keep Bolton? Drop a stay in the comments if you think the Chiefs should work out a deal. Or type let him walk if you think it's time to move on. Let's see where the kingdom stands on this one. Oh, and while you're at it, hit that like button. You know the drill, every like helps bring good vibes for a strong Chiefs offseason. Don't risk jinxing it. Alright, now let's break this down. What's really going on with the franchise tag, and why was this decision made? Let's get into the numbers and see why tagging Bolton just didn't make sense. Alright, now that we've got the basics out of the way, let's talk about why the franchise tag just didn't make sense for Nick Bolton. For those who aren't familiar with it, the franchise tag is a way for teams to keep players for one more year by paying them a set amount based on their position. But here's where it gets tricky for linebackers like Bolton. The franchise tag for linebackers is currently set at $25 million. Sounds insane, right? But that's where the NFL's system doesn't really add up. You see, linebackers are grouped into one category with outside linebackers and edge rushers. So, while Bolton's an off-ball linebacker, he still falls under that same tag number, which is way higher than what his market value would be. And when you compare that to a long-term contract, it's clear Bolton's future contract is going to cost a lot less than the franchise tag. The average linebacker salary for someone like Roquan Smith in Baltimore is around $20 million a year, which is significantly less than the $25 million the franchise tag would cost. But the real kicker here is that this system doesn't account for the difference in playing style between linebackers and edge rushers. So, while a player like TJ Watt might be worth that $25 million, Nick Bolton isn't in that same category. It's a pretty bad system, honestly. And here's where I want to hear from you. Do you think the NFL should change the franchise tag system to better fit the different types of linebackers and edge rushers? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, with the franchise tag out of the picture, what's next for the Chiefs and Bolton? Well, let's take a look at the team's options moving forward. Alright, now that we understand why the franchise tag is off the table for Bolton, let's dive into what the Chiefs might do next. As of now, the Chiefs are trying to work out a deal with Bolton before free agency hits. But here's the reality, the Chiefs have a tight salary cap and a lot of priorities to juggle. You've got Trey Smith to think about, too. That's a whole other contract situation that Brett Veach and the front office are dealing with, and unfortunately, there just might not be enough money to keep both guys. But that doesn't mean all hope is lost for Bolton sticking around. The Chiefs have been known for making smart moves and getting deals done, even when things look tight financially. If there's a way to make it work, Veach and the team will likely do it. It might involve restructuring a few contracts or cutting players who are eating up too much cap space. But don't count them out just yet. Now, what if the Chiefs can't get a deal done with Bolton? What are the alternatives? Well, there are a couple of paths they could take. First, they could explore the free agent market for a linebacker to fill that void. The options may not be as good as Bolton, but there are always players looking for a fresh start, and the Chiefs have a good reputation for getting the best out of their defenders. Second, they could look to the draft to bring in a linebacker with potential. The Chiefs have had success in the draft, and there might be a young player who could come in and contribute right away. But, let's be real, finding a replacement for Bolton won't be easy. Now, here's a little insight from NFL insider Peter Schrager. When I spoke to him, he said something that really stuck with me: I can't see how Nick Bolton doesn't stay in Kansas City. He's the heart and soul of that defense. Strong words, right? Schrager believes Bolton's importance to the team is too high to let him walk. But let's keep it real, guys. Would you rather see the Chiefs spend to keep Bolton or look for a replacement in the draft or free agency? I'm curious to know what you think, so drop your vote in the comments. Keep if you want to keep Bolton, or replace if you'd rather go in a new direction. Alright, with that in mind, let's take a look at Bolton's true value to this team. How important is he to the defense? Let's break it down. Now that we've covered the franchise tag and the Chiefs' options, let's dive into the most important part of the conversation: Nick Bolton's impact on this defense. We're talking about a guy who's been absolutely crucial to the Chiefs' success over the past couple of seasons. Bolton isn't just a linebacker, he's a leader. He's been part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams, and his stats speak for themselves. He's made key tackles, forced turnovers, and consistently helped to set the tone on defense. One thing we can't overlook is how Bolton's playmaking ability has grown over the years. He went into 2024 with something to prove, and he did just that. He ended the season with 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, and 11 tackles for loss. Not only that, but his coverage stats also show just how much he's improved. He broke up 6 passes and held his receivers to under 400 yards. That's impressive for a linebacker in today's NFL. But Bolton's impact isn't just in the stats. He's been a key figure in Steve Spagnuolo's defense, helping to direct traffic and get the defense lined up. His ability to read the offense and react quickly is something the Chiefs rely on week after week. And with the team continuing to evolve, Bolton's leadership only becomes more valuable. Now, let's compare Bolton's situation to Trey Smith. Both players are vital to the Chiefs, but let's be real, who would be harder to replace? While Smith is crucial to the offensive line, Bolton's presence in the middle of the defense is something that's tough to replicate. Losing him would hurt this defense in ways we don't even fully realize yet. Nick Bolton himself has even talked about how he's just getting started. He's looking to keep improving, and that's exciting for Chiefs fans. This could be the beginning of Bolton's prime years, and he could continue to get even better. Alright, I know you've got an opinion on this, so let's hear it. If you had to choose, would you rather keep Nick Bolton or Trey Smith? Drop your vote in the comments with NB for Nick Bolton or TS for Trey Smith. Let's see which one of these 2 key players is more important to the Chiefs' future. Now, with all this in mind, let's wrap things up and look ahead. What can we expect in the next few weeks with Bolton's situation? Alright, we've gone over the numbers, the impact of Nick Bolton, and what the Chiefs could do to keep him. But here's the bottom line: time is running out. The Chiefs still don't have a deal with Bolton, and the deadline is quickly approaching. If they can't get something done, we could see Bolton walk out the door and into free agency. And that would be a huge loss for the defense. The reality is that losing Bolton could create a big hole in the middle of that defense. His leadership, playmaking, and experience in big moments are things the Chiefs will miss if they can't re-sign him. With free agency just around the corner, Brett, Veach has to act fast to either lock him down or come up with another plan. So, what do you think, Chiefs fans? If you were Brett Veach, would you prioritize re-signing Bolton, or would you roll the dice and look for another linebacker to step up? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should the Chiefs make the push to keep Bolton or go in a different direction? And don't forget, if you want to stay updated on all things Chiefs, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss any of the upcoming news and updates. The off-season is about to get crazy, and you'll want to stay in the loop. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're all hoping for a great off-season for the Chiefs, and whether Bolton stays or goes, we know this team will keep fighting for another championship. Until next time, go Chiefs!